Good evening and welcome to Guna Matters, the call it the Christmas show. Sorry, Lenny. Um, yeah, it has been a very, very great year. I started this year in March only. I've got 89 subscribers on the show. And again, if you are new, please subscribe to Guna Matters and also hit the like, smash the bells for all the notifications, and you can get all the news and updates and the banter and every little information you want. You can get it on Guna Matters. And remember, your opinion matters.
Mm.
Tonight I want to introduce my guests. No stranger to the show is Leonard Kleinrich. Hello, Lenny. How are you?
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for inviting me. It's good to be home.
And then, of course, Gary from all the way from New Jersey, not a stranger either. Welcome back, Gary, for a while now.
Hello there, Glenwyn, Leonard, and Warren, and everybody in the chats and whoever watches the replays. Welcome.
And of course, Warren, a second timer on the show, no stranger to all his comments. Welcome back.
Good evening, everyone, Arsenal fans around the world. Merry Christmas, everyone. Hope everyone is
Mm.
doing well.
Yeah, it's going to be a lekker festive season, even though there's quite a few restrictions in already.
Yeah,
But nonetheless, I hope the beaches are still open. Gary, last season we couldn't go to the beach. That's how that's how bad the restrictions was.
I mean, that's the one thing we could do in the summer, at least for us, is we could go outside to the beaches. There wasn't that many people there, which is really nice. So you got a lot of space, and if you were concerned, but yeah,
Yeah,
that's really tough. It's really
you
tough.
could have gone to the you could go to the seaside, but you couldn't go onto the beach. I mean,
Oh
I
boy.
witnessed people gotten or taken away from the sand. I mean, we were, yeah, no, really, it was. That's how bad it was. But yeah, I think it's different this time. Nonetheless, I hope that changes very, very soon. All right, let's get into it. A quick, just brief discussion about these guys. These are the 8 loanies I can think of that are out there. Willem Saliba, Matteo Guendouzi, Hector Bellerin, Lucas Torreira, Reece Nelson, Lenny, I don't know, you can pronounce that name. Mavropanos,
Mavropanos.
Mavropanos.
Yeah, yeah.
and then there's another Odin's son, Alex Renison. He's also a son of Odin, I think. You know who Odin is, eh? The Northman's god or whatever. And then this Eliv, I don't know, I don't pronounce his name. All right, Gary, let's start with you. What's your thoughts on these guys? Are they ever going to come back, or are we selling them, or are we keeping them on loan?
Yeah, I mean, you look at that list, and really only one player does stand out. All right, that's Saliba. The other players, there are a lot of questions to be asked, but Saliba is one that we all wanted to see. Since he's been here, it'd be nice for him one day to put an Arsenal shirt on, but the fear is and the thought is that he may never see Arsenal. I think they could deal with a player like him, skill set wise. I mean, he would be c- more closer to a Gabriel than White is to a Gabriel in terms of size, player, and all of
Yeah,
that. I mean, he plays in the air. He's still young, so he's going to make some mistakes. But I think in the long term, it'd be nice to have him come back. So that's the one player I think at the top of the list in terms of who we want to come back.
yeah,
Torreira is one player I always thought would be a good fit for Arsenal, but I think that ship has sailed.
yeah,
Everybody else on the list, I think Guendouzi would be nice, but I think it's just, I think he's burned the bridge. Any bridge of coming back. Mavropanos would have been a really good player to come back, but Arsenal, I think, as they have done with Guendouzi, and they've kind of set up a contract that makes it easy for them to go, and for the quality of play that they are actually putting out, it's worth the money to spend it if you're a player. Sorry, if you're a team that has them. So I
yeah,
can't see them coming back based on what Arsenal's done in regards to the way they set up the contracts that they have. They
yeah,
definitely undersold those players. as far as their worth, and they're worth a lot more. So they most likely won't come back. I think Mavropanos, if I saw last, he is a top player at the in the
Is
domestic
that
league that
fair?
he's in right now, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
Stuttgart, yeah.
yeah, so he's one of the top players there, so being recognized all the time, just like Guendouzi, and yeah, just it's more bad business than it is whether or not we want them to stay. So
Yeah.
that's kind of how I feel about those players. Everybody else on that list, I can't see them having a place at Arsenal, so it's probably going to be one of those where they may continue to stay on loan or be sold, in a transfer deal or something like that.
Warren, a lot of fans are calling for Reece Nelson and Matteo Guendouzi to come back. Do you agree with them, Warren?
Um, Reece Nelson, yeah, it's a quite a tricky one. That list of lonely players. There's a lot of factors to take into account. I mean, these players that well, I mean, like Gary said, Binte Bridges, and like Guendouzi, um, and it doesn't seem like Oteta fancies Lucas Torreira for whatever reason. I don't know. And then there's players like Hector Bellerin that here's a chance to be clever. So this is a guy that's not going to. I mean, he's just not good enough for us, isn't it? But we can get money for him.
Yeah.
So we can be clever there. Reece Nelson, yeah, I think it's worth a chance to. I mean, that's why when we, if he comes back next season, that's we got like Carabao Cups, some FA Cups, um, he can have a chance. I think it's worth giving him a chance rather than maybe selling him. And obviously they'll need to assess how he's doing at his loan club. I mean, I don't watch German and Italian football, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
But the two that sticks out for me, it's Saliba and Mavropanos. I mean, considering the defenders we've had, I mean, they can't be worse than what we've had at the club playing centre backs this year. I mean, Kolasinac, Chambers, Holding. These are players that are some of these guys have been at the club for 10 years. They are not going to get any better. So you weigh that up versus Saliba and Mavropanos, and I'm saying that's a no-brainer right there. They come into the team next year, not starting, into the squad, and at least be given an opportunity, and then we can see them for a season at Arsenal, and then we can make a call to say, you know what, you're actually not cutting it. We're gonna sell you or whatever, rather than just flogging these guys. And then we got another Serge Gnabry scenario where we're all drooling at him now, playing for Bayern Munich in the Champions League, saying
Mm.
why did we sell this guy? So let's just have a little bit of common sense goes a long way. So I think there's a couple of guys in there that I don't think we will ever see again, and we need to move on. There's one or two iffies, and then there's one or two that I think definitely deserves a chance.
Sorry, man. I
Mm.
don't know what happened there. I just lost
Sure.
my connection. Sorry.
Okay.
All right, you guys obviously heard what was said there. Lenny, did you have something to say there?
Look, my last not episode, article that I read regarding Saliba, there was a mutual agreement between him and Arteta to go on loan. And it also included his family and things like that. And he came out and he actually said what Arteta did was right to send him out on loan. So I foresee him coming back to Arsenal. Ballerine, no, I don't think I think his days are numbered. He's most probably saw there's a site out there where he can plant trees, so it's good on him for that. Um, uh,
He's a nature lover, man. He loves
yeah.
paper.
Torreira has made it known that he don't want to come back to Arsenal. He actually wants to go back to South America, but obviously they can't pay the amount of money that Arsenal's looking for. So that's also another issue. Guendouzi, brilliant player, but he's been shooting off his mouth too much, man. If it's not officials he's going up against, then it's his own teammates. So he's actually shot himself in the foot. Reese Nielsen, I would actually like to see him come back, but then I'm also not sure if
Yeah.
he would be competing with Aziz, who's also doing, he's doing actually very well, for Arsenal. So the rest, I would say, Sal, because there's articles where we eyeing Calvin Lewin, and that's been going for a while now. So if we can sell him by, why not?
Yes, you're right. You're right. Yeah, so I think that is all we can say about these loanies, and I think we can move on swiftly.
Yeah, I mean, just
Um,
one thing on that note. For me, I feel like Arsenal's still 10 players away, and
okay.
Hmm.
they don't have them in house, or they haven't been given opportunity. So part of them may come from some of the youngsters, but I think most of them will come from outside. Just because I think Arteta's made up his mind, and he usually shows his cards really early, and we don't believe him. And I don't usually believe him, but he always seems to stick to his guns and stays true to himself. So yeah, I think we're still 10 players away, and that does two starters and the rest squad players. But yeah,
Yeah, just some
Yeah,
backups. We really need a backup for Tomiyasu. I mean, we've seen now what happened
yeah,
on last week. Hey, Warren, what
correct.
you say? Who
No,
do you think?
that's a very good point. You guys has made now. Very good point.
Cedric is not a
Hmm.
backup for me. Neither is Chambers. So we need somebody similar to a Tavares that can give Tomiyasu some very very good competition for that spot there.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's go to the Leeds game. Remember last week Friday, Lenny, we spoke of the two Brazilians that are going to be making impact in the teams. Our Brazilian came on top. So I'm very amped and stoked about his performance. What do you think, Lenny?
Look, I kind of actually felt sorry for Leeds. They've had majority of their players out. There was one comment that they made about Smith
Lenny,
Rowe.
Lenny, Lenny, I'm gonna give you a
Yes.
red card because these guys don't give a two hoots about us. When we in the beginning played Brentford, we didn't have. So please, man, that is that is not a fair point. Why you feel sorry for them? Remember how you went off on me on the group when I said I feel sorry for Spurs? Remember that time?
No, man, I
So
don't care
come
a toss about Spurs.
you can continue, but your opinion matters. That's all it counts. Your opinion
Yeah,
matters.
yeah. Like I said, there was actually one comment where they made about Smith Rowe sitting on Arsenal's bench, and he was the youngest substitute. And they said if he was sitting on the other side, he would have been the oldest.
Uh,
So that's how bad it was for Leeds. But at least what I liked was they never hid away or defended. They played their game, which was awesome to
yes.
see, and it was a good game. And well, the result, it could have been much more. It could have been worse. If we were on target, it could have been 7-8-1. But good on him. But shame.
Yeah.
Bielson's
Sorry,
got Bielson's got his hands full with that one now.
I
Shame.
don't feel bad about that because they don't have a plan B in my opinion. They just keep on. Your thoughts on it, Warren?
Yeah. Look at it was a good performance, a good result. Obviously, I mean that's stating the obvious, but I mean they were ravaged by injuries and stuff. I'm not feeling sorry for them, not at all. And Glenman is right. Glenman has got a good point. Beasley does not have a plan B. Very naive, very childish of him. I don't get this guy at all. I'm one of the few guys that, even in the whole world is going mad about this guy, I don't get it. For a professional manager at that level and you don't have a plan B, it should
Yeah,
have
yeah.
been embarrassing. It should have been really embarrassing. Lacazette he was completely wasteful in that game. Um, and it should have been more. I think so the first half was fantastic. Second half, look, I understand that when you're that comfortable, you kind of retreat a bit into your shape and stuff. But there's a couple of things I was very sort of frustrated about, sort of unprofessional and sloppy. Now, a lot of people will not even remember it because why we won the game. But in a few weeks' time, and I've seen this happen so many times over the years, in a few weeks' time, the same players that did something wrong in that game will do the same thing in a game where it matters. I get it.
Yeah.
Mm.
But
Pun
that
intended.
time, yeah, whatever. But
Mm.
in the next game, it'll count against us, and it
Yeah.
isn't a matter. You see,
Yeah.
but people would have
Mm.
forgotten that. And what I'm talking about is look at, I mean, look at the penalty we conceded. Now Ben White
That's a
has been
stupid,
doing
stupid
well.
penalty.
Why would he do that? I mean, it's
Mm.
totally just, are they, were we just too confident? You can't be like that. Granit Xhaka. Oh my goodness. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so Leeds bring a goal back, right? They miss a. They should have scored that second one. I actually didn't realize that guy got the ball to his head. The crowd is coming on. That guy almost. He should have. That's a red card. The
Yeah.
guy should have been
Mm.
sent off. I don't care what team you support. That
Mm.
is a
Mm.
red card. That we could have drawn that game. We
Yeah.
will never know now. See, that's the thing. Well, people wouldn't care now because we will never know now. But
Mm.
stupid, silly things like that. Senior, and it's also the senior players. I mean, Lacazette had an off game as well. He had, I don't know, a million chances. He should have scored. He didn't even look like he was going to score.
Yeah.
So first off, brilliant. We killed them. The game was dead at halftime. But I mean, those are the things you'll never see a Chelsea, a Man City, a Liverpool drop their standards. And that I'm talking about standards. I don't
Yeah.
care who
Yeah.
we playing. We could be playing Heideveld 11. The
Yeah.
standards
Yeah.
must
Mm.
be here and it must stay there. That is what, and it's not about money. How much money you spent in summer and how much money you got. This isn't about money. This is about
It's a
being a
standard. Yeah.
professional, and it's about being about maintaining a standard and not
Yeah.
dropping it for anything just because you're winning a football game. I wasn't
Yeah.
happy with
Mm.
that. The guys, oh no, no, don't worry, but we won the game. Yeah, but hold on. Until that guy does the same thing in 2 weeks' time, and then we end up drawing the game against, say, Wolves or whatever, or losing the
Yeah.
game, then everyone was like, "Oh no, how could he?" But hold on, he did the same thing 2 weeks ago. You see nothing then.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Standards has got to be maintained. It's not like the I'm gonna go into the kitchen. I'll put the light on quickly. Do you think Klopp and Pep, with all the billions that they've spent, do you think they would allow for that? Do you think
Mm-mm.
Mm.
seriously that guy will be dropped the next game? He
Yeah.
will be dropped. I don't care if that guy's got 10 goals. He made a
Yeah. Yeah.
stupid mistake, a totally uncalled for. But anyway, look, I don't want to go to on the second half. First half was fantastic. We were brilliant. I mean, they were
Mm.
there for the killing. We killed them and we moved on. So, but just those are the things we need to rat out.
Yes.
Mm.
Gary, you've burned like you want to say something there.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of good points. So everything that has been said, I definitely agree with in regards to, um, the Leeds having missing players. We were missing what, three strikers in the first game. We had to go to our academy player to play a striker. So, you know, I mean, we still should have competed, but we were missing players, and everybody was like, "Well, you know what? You just got to handle it." And now everybody's, getting what they, getting those postponed games now. So it seems to be the norm. Also, as I mentioned about, we're looking at the loanees, and I mentioned the two players that we need as starters. And Leeds game pretty much showed that, and you guys have commented on that as well. We need a striker, all right? I mean,
Mm.
I mean, Erdogan should be upset. The man's put so many scoring chances out there for the team to complete, and they're just not doing it. Some to the strikers, and that in that one sequence, I think he laid a ball off to Lacazette, and you're thinking 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper. That's a score, right? Nope.
Mm.
Nope, doesn't get it past the goalkeeper. And then Saka, in that same sequence of play, he also has an opportunity to shoot and misses the goal entirely. So there are, scoring opportunities that we're just missing. Saka, I'm going to give him a break right now because I expect him to get better. Lacazette, those chances will come few and far between. He has to finish when he does get them, but that's been his issue. It's just that he isn't a good finisher, right?
Mm.
He's just been really incomplete there. And then you go to the second player that I think we need, at the least. It sounds like we might need two, but in that midfield right now, and you've got Xhaka and Partey there. We do, right now, are those legitimate starters for us? I mean,
Mm.
Xhaka, I don't think at all, and he shows us every time why. Right, like you said, in another game he gets that red and then he's out. You know, and he's got that in
Mm.
his locker all the time. He's always got
Yeah,
an opportunity to get kicked out of a game, to get a yellow card, a red card, whenever. He's always got that in his game, and he's senior leadership that Arteta leans on, and he needs to stop saying that. That's not the leadership this team needs. That's why I believe to some degree that's why Guendouzi's not here. Guess who was leading him when he was here, right?
yeah, yeah,
Same player that we're
Mm.
complaining about now. He's part of the leadership group and all of that, but he doesn't lead. Not the
yeah.
way we want, not the way I think the team needs it. You look at Lacazette and you see a player who leads. Is he got some flaws? Yeah, but does he lead the team? Yes, yes. You can see it. You can see it when he's out there. I don't know what Xhaka is doing, leading the team as much, because I see more of the negative stand out so much that whatever positive he is doing, it's just I never see it. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
so that's kind of that's how the lead game. That's when I look back at the Leeds game, everything else that you said I agree with, but those are two things that stand out, and that's where we are. You think about it. You improve on Lacazette, you improve on Partey, because Partey right now isn't the player that we got. You know,
Yeah,
from Atletico Madrid. That's
yeah,
not the player we have right
yeah,
now. And
definitely.
Yeah.
Xhaka is still a
Mm.
player, that if you replace those three and you were able to improve on those three, Arteta would have the team that he wants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of consensus that sort of everybody agrees. Lenny, did I speak to you? Yeah, you had first time, eh? You
Mm.
you spoke so long last,
Yeah, look,
but nonetheless,
just to add to that also with AFCON coming up now, also the players are leaving now. So Partey will be gone, Pepe will be gone, Abu will be gone.
oh,
So I
Lenny,
think this will be opportunity now for others to step to the plate now also.
Yeah,
yeah,
correct.
yeah, we've got four players that leaves. In fact, that is the
Oh,
most
Aldini,
players. Yeah,
Aldini,
yeah,
yeah.
that's the most players that's leaving for AFCON. But nonetheless, I think we had a good game in Leeds, and yeah, I agree totally with all of you what you've been saying. And then a couple of days later, this happens. Wow, eh? 5-1. Remember, Warren, the first time that you were on the show, you were very confused. Where's the goals gonna come from? And um, did this couple of games give you that answer? Maybe.
I think like what Gary's hit on is that's the nail on the head. I mean, everyone is scoring except our strikers. That is what I said. So can we keep on considering that we want to challenge for top four or Europe?
Mm, yeah.
We need a striker to score goals. I mean, so the kids are again carrying us. So everyone is scoring except the strikers. I mean, we had a we I mean Sunderland in the Carabao Cup, and obviously the goals are flowing there. But we're gonna have way tougher challenges than
Ahead of us.
Sunderland and Leeds is under 18 team. We're gonna have much bigger challenges. Well, we got okay, Norwich we should beat, but I mean after that it gets a bit tight with Wolves and Man City. The thing is, we don't want to go back to the point of having putting that much pressure on our youngsters. That is my
Mm,
concern always, because then you start burning these guys out. It's too much pressure. We need and Lacazette is doing a fantastic job. I'm grateful to him stepping in for Aubameyang. They need someone to lead them. His style of play, he brings them into the game as well. But we do need a striker that can put the ball in the back of the net. If that can happen, look, I'm not sure what we're going to do in January, but if we can get a striker in January, I think we're going to have a big chance at top four. And I'm not just saying that because I'm an Arsenal supporter, but I think
Mm.
the type of foot if you take into account what we're doing now, the back four, the goalkeeper, and then our the two wide guys, and then Odegaard, importantly, it's starting to he's starting. These games are coming at the right time for him. Every game is just getting 1% better, 1% better.
Yeah,
We needed a number 10 in the team. We needed a number 10 in the team, and he's slowly getting better. The missing piece, and we're all saying the same thing here. It's a striker, the striker
yeah,
that can put
Mm.
the ball in the back of the net, because you're never always gonna get the games like we had against Leeds. We're getting 20. I mean, we had like 25 shots.
at
What was it
goal.
in the
Yeah,
first half an hour or something? I mean, that's
yeah,
like
Mm.
volleyball stats. That's like playing volleyball, beach
yeah,
volleyball,
yeah,
football. And then that doesn't happen. We're going to play Wolves, I think, in a few weeks' time. They're going to defend with 8 defenders. That's not
yeah,
going to
yeah,
happen. You understand what I'm saying? So you're
Mm.
only going to get like one chance, and you can't like take, so, okay, I'll take the fourth one and I'll score. So
yeah.
yeah, I mean the goals is slowly getting there, but also just take in the back of your mind who we played as well. Yeah, I
Yes.
mean, but yeah, the strike is a big issue for me.
So Arteta always said that he wants goals from the midfield, which we're getting from now. And then, of course, Lenny, do you think it was an easier choice, seeing that we're getting goals from elsewhere, to lay off of Oba, because he always stuck with Oba, thinking Oba's going to give him goals, but now the goals is coming from elsewhere. He's been stripped from the captaincy. Also, hasn't been training or playing with the team. Do you think it would have been easier now to make that choice and also keep him laid off?
Man, look, firstly, if I go back to the Sunderland game, actually Lee Johnson was the cause of us going running riot, because he shot off his mouth before the game,
Okay.
and he actually yeah, diminishing Arsenal by saying he's looking for a big club to play against. Hey, he got slapped by a massive club, not a big club.
And this
Um,
is his Lenny. Sorry to
yeah.
run your mouth there. And this is his response after the game. The Sunderland manager Lee Johnson insisted he has the utmost respect for Arsenal, as he labels his remark that he wanted to play them in the Carabao quarterfinals before taking on the really big guns later on in the competition. And his respect for the club, and he labels it as dad banter. What a load of bull. I mean, he's calling it
Yeah, man.
banter.
Yeah, no, that's why I say he wasn't beaten by a big club. He was beaten by a massive club,
True.
So he shot his mouth off, and that's why he got punished that way. But as
But
far as I'm concerned, is I think Uber has his mindset on leaving, So
yeah,
attitude and performance wise, it all leads to the door, So I believe he's done for. I don't think he will play for Arsenal again. They're actually looking at offers now for him. So
yeah.
he's gone. He's gone.
Gary, to that question I asked Lenny, you can answer that. But also this one: is there any person in Europe or any club in Europe that can afford his wages per week?
Yeah, I've been saying multiple times when Arsenal's had a player that they want to leave. At some point, they're just going to have to pay the money to let part of the money for them to go, because they've made some really either bad judgments, or the players just haven't panned out, and they're taking a loss anyways. So for me, I just, unless he's gonna be a professional, and come back in and compete, then he needs to go, right? Because we've
Yeah,
seen this with Ozil. It didn't work out. He wasn't gonna be a team player. So I kind of feel like if that's the same thing that's happening here with Aubameyang, and it can't be all on the players if this is the second time this is happening, right? Second time that you give a player a big salary and it doesn't work out, and then
Mm.
they have there's a team dynamic that just doesn't work, and then they have to go. So part of this is on Arteta, Arsenal, and of course Aubameyang, the player, in this scenario. So all three are culpable to what's going on here. But you know what? You can't. He can't be in in the locker room if it's not going to work out. I just, regardless of whose fault it is, at some point he has to go, and he wants to go, and there's probably teams out there that will take him, but I have a feeling Arsenal's going to have to pay for it, and if they're able to maybe help support that team as they leave, and maybe they can get some money back over time in terms of transfer fees, and that's probably what they should do.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to get much money back for him, that they would expect, but I think he needs to go if he's not going to be a professional about it in terms of the locker room that they need with that player. So yeah,
Yeah. Can I just sorry? I just got
Yes.
one
Go for
thing I
it.
want to do on Aubameyang, and actually, I mean, I've at times, I call it the way I see it, and I've, given Arteta a lot of criticism, with some of the decisions he's made, but I'm actually got to sign up for him here on the Aubameyang thing for making a big call like this. He done it before, and he done it again.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
big issue, right, with this whole thing. Okay, why did we give him the contract? And it's a Ozil thing again. I actually think at the time, if you think about it, we actually done the right thing when we extended his contract. I think we gave him a 3 year, right? Was it 3 years,
Mm,
Yeah.
3 years,
right?
yeah.
So
4 years.
think about it. He won. I think it's 3 years now. I,
Yeah.
so at the time, he won the FA Cup for Arteta. So Arteta had more than enough, and he was our best player at the time. So Arteta was well within reason to give him a contract. And even I don't even have an issue with the amount that we're paying him, whatever that number is. My issue is why give the guy 3 years? Did we not
Mm,
learn from Ozil? The guy's in his mid 30s. Fine if you want to give him the contract extension. Fine if you want to give him that amount of money. But don't give the guy 3 years. So, in other words, if we had to give him 2 years, right? Because we couldn't have given him one. You didn't have accepted that. If we gave him 2 years, right? This would have been his 2 of 2 years now. You'd have been gone out of contract at the end of the season. Problem solved. I mean,
mm,
when are we going to learn with these contractual issues, especially for players that are already now going into their mid 30s? I mean, have we not learned our lesson already? This isn't
Yeah.
rocket science. We don't need SARS to come and do an audit on the club and check the numbers. And I mean, come on, man. Gee was so I'm not. I wouldn't blame Arteta. Who's the guy drawing up the contracts? Here? Who is that person?
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
guy we must go and nail now. Go and ask him. Why give the guy 3 years?
Yeah.
Because now you're giving too much scope. There's too much ball in the players' court now. Now this thing happens, and now we again back to square one. Mesut Ozil situation issues now. We can't get rid of the guy because we're paying him almost 400K a week, and no one can afford the guy. Sorry,
mm,
that's the
Yeah.
only thing I want to do. And
yeah, I agree with you, and I think that's where Arsenal as a whole has just messed this whole thing up. If you're going to spend that money on him, that means you're going to figure out a way to get the best out of him.
Yeah.
That's not Arteta doesn't really necessarily want to do that, or has changed his tune right in terms of what he's going to do. If you have an Aubameyang, and the Aubameyang we have now, he's only going to work a certain way within a certain structure, a certain formation with players around him that are going to help him out. He'll get you to 20 goals, but you can't ask him to do all the other things that Arteta wants him to do.
True.
And if you're going to
Good
spend
point.
that much money, then you put the players around him that he needs, right? That
Yeah.
makes for me. It's like saying we have a really good goalkeeper, but we're not going to put good defenders in front of him. It just doesn't make any sense, right? And that's what we did. We spent all this money on a striker, and then we didn't spend any money on the players that he needs,
Yeah.
right? To make him look good on the pitch, and that's where Arsenal as a whole went bad, and Arteta didn't want to figure out a way to get it to work. So, and I think Aubameyang at some point probably just said, I'm done. If that's what happened, I kind of feel like Arteta just changed what he wanted to do, and it's irritated the senior players. A lot of the senior players seem to not necessarily fit with him.
Yeah.
Because you know what, they've been doing this for like a lot longer than he has. And all of a
Yes.
sudden he's going to tell them, what you've done in the past isn't going to work here. And it's like, what? I also, like you said, Arteta's a manager, not because of something he did, because of what Aubameyang did. Right?
Yeah.
Aubameyang did a lot, and same thing. Maitland-Niles was also a player that helped with that run to the FA Cup. and
Yeah.
you saw what happened with him as well. So it's kind of a badly managed team in that sense, but you can see when he gets the players he wants, he gets the
Yeah.
best out of them because they know they do exactly what he expects out of them. So
Yeah.
it's
Let's just go to the comments for the first time. Terry Hogan, better known as Altal. Gary, you know Terry. Thank you for watching and welcome, and happy Christmas to you guys as well. Philip, is Philip your son, Gary?
no, it's my dad. My dad.
Oh, your dad. Okay, Mr. Howell. Good evening, Philip. All the way from, is he also in New Jersey?
No, no, he's actually in London. He's in London.
Okay.
So
Also
yeah.
Arsenal fan, I hope.
No, he's not. He's not an Arsenal fan. He's
Oh,
happy. He's happy to see. Yeah. I don't know if he's still a West Ham fan, but
Oh my,
he's
West Ham. I should get him on the show. I like West Ham fans. I love him. Um, and then, of course, Altal. This is something that I would like Altal to comment on if he can. Is that I don't know if you knew that Lee Johnson was also an Arsenal player in his youth days. Again, the reason why I underlined it there is he left the club at the age of 17 after a feud with a coach. I think that's the trend in the Arsenal youth ranks. Everybody's got a feud with the coach or the manager. Um,
Glenn, can I just come in here quickly?
sure, go for it.
Arsenal signed a lawyer. He's missing. That's why his name eludes me.
oh,
You
garlic,
know,
garlic, right?
Mr. Garlic.
Garlic,
Richard
Richard.
Garlic.
that's it. Garlic. Yeah, they've signed Garlic.
He was
And
supposed to do the things that Warren
he's
is talking
supposed,
about.
yeah, but I think he came after the Aubameyang agreement. He
Yeah.
stepped in. So he's been, for me, we've seen him once or twice, and then he's gone missing. So what is his purpose, basically? Besides contract agreements and things like it, you don't hear anything. In articles where you hear Garlic came out and Garlic said this and Garlic said that and Garlic did this and that, but you don't hear anything.
You know what? Garlic
So
came
what
in and
is wrong?
he washed his mouth. I'm gonna get Buendia, my very first signing. What happened after that? He
Okay.
died. You know what I mean? So after that, he just went dead. What does this mean, Gary? Dot the five, good
I
vibes.
don't. I can't see. It's just a It's
Do
just
the
saying.
five.
It's
Good
saying
vibes or
high
something.
five. Hello. Yeah.
Okay, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah. He's still
yes,
a
I
West Ham fan.
am.
Yeah. He's still a West Ham
Yes,
fan.
West
So
Ham fan. All right, cool.
yeah, we lived.
All right.
We lived. I guess West London. So that's. I'm supposed to be a West Ham fan, I guess. But
Oh, you originally from UK?
yeah. I was born in England. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Ah,
All right. Our next segment is our next game. Don't laugh, please, guys. I hope they're not gonna come out and gun me. Eat them up, gunners, like an Xmas turkey. That is our next game. It should fairly be a good game. It should be an easy game, even though we played them at home our first round, and we won them 1-0. But now they've got Dean Smith, right? Is Dean Smith the new
Dean
manager?
Smith, yeah. Dean Smith,
Yeah.
yeah.
What is our chances against this Turkeys? Warren.
Well, look, not that football's played on paper, but we should beat them. In all honesty. Having said that, I do expect there to be goals. I think there will be a bit of goals. Yeah. Norwich, they are looking a little bit more confident now with the new manager. I think they're looking. I mean, their biggest issue is the defense. I mean, that's the whole story there. So I think this, yeah, Smith Rose and Martinelli's and Saka, they're gonna rub their hands, and there could be a lot of goals. I don't think the defense will be able to live with us. I think our defense can deal with the attack. So, barring any real major upset, I think, I think I think we should get about 2 or 3 goals in this game. To be honest, I think we should
Okay.
win this one. Yeah.
Mm.
Gary, you know what? They don't have any standout person other than Tom Cantal or Ben? What is his name? Tom Cantal or Ben Cantal? But he hasn't been playing for a while, actually.
Yeah.
In their side, do they have any dangerous players to give
Yeah.
Arsenal
Yeah.
a run?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think it should. I mean, we beat them 1-0, and it was a really poor game on our part. Like you said, I think we should at least get 2 or 3 past them. At least that should be
At
at
least.
least. I mean, they are bottom of the table. They haven't scored. Have they scored a goal? Let's see. I don't even think they've
They
scored.
scored eight goals thus far.
Yeah,
Eight
no,
goals.
they haven't scored in their last three matches, right? And they've had a match off, postponed. So, and they drew Newcastle was the one game they got points in the last. I guess they drew the previous 2, but yeah, no, I think it should be a manageable game for us. We should be able to come in there with whatever squad he decides to go with, as long as he's probably going to have maybe a Milsuf Rowe or Erdegaard in there, along with maybe a Saka and a Pepe or some. I think it should be manageable. I mean, 2 or 3, that would be a disappointment. I believe the way we're playing right now, we need to keep playing this way. It should be a manageable win. We'll probably play with our starting back 5 most likely. And with that in mind, then they're not going to get anything from us. So yeah, manageable game. We should be able to get a good win out of this one and move on and get ready for is it Tuesday? I think we play after that. So yeah,
Tuesday.
yeah. So
Tuesday.
yeah, no, and I think these 2 games are manageable for us. They're not City in the new year, right? So they should be
On
good.
the first.
They should be good tune-ups for those matches, for that match. So yeah, Arsenal shouldn't have any problems going into that match.
Lenny, what's your take on the turkeys?
Look,
I'll just dub them turkey now.
I wouldn't say a turkey. It looks like a budgie standing on an orange. But now
Look, it's part of the bird family.
that chicken standing on a netball. Okay, yeah.
and it's Christmas, so turkey, budgie, whatever.
Look, for me, Dean must be worried. Looking at Saka, Smith Rowe, Montanelli, he's running a riot up front there. So I believe he's going to park the bus there. He's going to hold back. Our defense is hardly going to get a ball because they're going to block everything that they're going to try and block everything that comes their way.
Because that's their problem is defense.
Yeah, so we're going to run a riot there. Yeah, so I agree with Warren. We'll get about 3 or 4, maybe 5 again. Seeing that we high five there all the time. Just jumping to the Tuesday match. I'm not sure if you're aware the Wolves Watford game has been postponed for Sunday.
Yeah.
So it gives Wolves some more time to prepare for the Gunners on Tuesday.
Correct.
So I don't know if Arteta's maybe eyeing that also as his approach for Sunday. Get a couple of goals and then pull off players just for Tuesday. I don't know. It depends. We'll have to see how that one goes.
Good goal.
Yeah. Just on my point about what's this guy's name? That this guy, Lee Johnson.
He
was at Arsenal and he left Arsenal after Don Howe. That was the manager, and Terry. Now Terry is a old Arsenal supporter from way back, and he's got Warren. You will sit with the mouth open with all the knowledge and the experience this man has with Arsenal. He's been there for years. He says that Don Howe was in the dugout and he was sacked immediately after the fallout with that with Lee Johnson at the time. Thanks for that, Terry. I hope to have you on the shows anytime soon where you can have a nice history lesson again. Gary, Terry has got all the experience in the world and knowledge of Arsenal off his head. I think the Turkeys gonna have a field day defending, because that is their problem currently. I mean, also they don't score goals. In fact, the whole team from back to front has got a problem. They can't score goals, they can't defend, and hopefully, like you said, Warren, we won't have upset there.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I think I mean, like Lennon made a really good point. We're playing two games in 3 days.
three
And
days.
trust me, guys, forget about, well, not forget about Norwich, but and we're not even Bus City yet. Wolves is not a
Mm,
pushover. I will tell you
yeah.
that right now.
Mm,
Right now, that isn't going to be a 4-5 0. If it is,
mm,
yay! But
Yeah,
kill that noise. That is a team with a proper manager. They know what they're doing. They got they got top players, quality players. They actually got
mm,
a striker. Hello. They're
yeah,
well
mm,
organized. You saw what they did against Liverpool. I mean, they were
yeah.
brave. They were exchanging blows with Liverpool toe to toe. That's a proper Premier League team. And I wouldn't be surprised. Don't be shocked if Arteta starts with a Pepe and I don't know, Maitland Niles or whoever's available. Just to rotate. I mean, because someone's gonna have to give. We can't. I don't think
Oh,
he
you
can play
mean for
two
the Norwich game?
or whichever way. I think someone. I can't see us playing the same team in in three,
Next
like
three
twice in
games.
3 days. Yeah, I
yeah.
don't. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not gonna happen.
Mm,
So it could be interesting on Sunday to see how he goes. Does he rest the guys for the Norwich game or for the Wolves game? Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Yeah.
These guys, yeah, I mean, those two, Neves, I mean, we were interested in Neves, and of course, Raul Jimenez, like you say, they actually have a striker. And I always rated this guy. He's very, very good.
Yeah, exactly. Those two players right there, right? Neves and what's the guy? The striker's name? What is his name now?
Jimenez.
The striker
mm, mm,
Jimenez. Yeah, the
Yeah,
two of them would walk into our team. They would walk
definitely,
yeah.
into our team easily.
definitely.
No
So
two ways
Mm,
about it.
those are the two dangers besides the number 10 Podolsk, or I can't pronounce his name
But
there.
dense, but dense, yeah, but
But
dense,
Dens, yeah,
but
that
dense.
that youngster is
Yeah,
also very, very good, and of course they've got wings that comes flying down the flanks.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be
Very,
a good game of football.
Just
Eh?
think
It's
about
going to
it.
be a very good game of football. A
Yeah,
very good game of football.
the two losses that they've had most recently were both to City and Liverpool.
and
One
Liverpool,
one
yeah,
nil losses. So they play a better brand of football all around than we do.
yeah,
Yeah,
They play probably more closer to their potential than we do
yeah,
right
mm,
now. It's not it holds up well for them. We come in spits and spurts, right? We're gonna have our ups and downs during games, and that's when we could get in trouble. But we need to, we need to play 90 minutes. Need to put a lot of pressure on them. I think our defense is much better than theirs, but they do have offensive threats that
mm,
we just saw in the last two matches what happens when we fall asleep for a little bit,
yeah,
right? Teams will get opportunities to score on us, and they will do that, and they won't make as many mistakes as what happened in the last matches when teams have had opportunities to score on us, and the chances have gone away. So we're going to have to come out ready to go, and I can see us maybe playing a little bit stronger, just so some of those players that need it. I mean, I think right now, White, he's struggling a little bit,
mm,
so he might take time off, but he might actually play so he can get his mind right going into the Wolves match, because we're going to need that from him, because he's had a couple of missteps in the last couple of
mm,
matches. So I think otherwise, I think everybody, the 4 or 5 players we have that play up top will be fine. Xhaka and Partey are, what they are, and
mm.
we kind of have to just deal with that for now. But
yeah,
otherwise,
funny me.
everybody else is
Funny,
yeah.
funny you mentioned Zaka and Party. They're going to be our two most important players against Wolves because Wolves are a very
yeah.
physical team and they'll
Therefore,
be in our faces. We need to, if we lose that midfield battle, oh
yeah,
my
we're
word.
gone.
Yeah,
That's what I wanted to say now. On your point, Warren, is that I would rather than put a Lakonga and a Niles in the game
yeah,
with Norwich, and keep the two of them out for the Wolves game, because I mean the two of them are capable of running the show against the Norwich team, I'm sure.
Yeah.
and give your guys like Partey and Xhaka. Who would have thought that Xhaka would be a in this day and age be an important player for us, eh? Lenny, you're laughing. You still
Uh,
have
no,
a
no,
ice bucket
no, no,
challenge
yeah,
tonight.
it's not. It's not important. It's not
We,
important. That's where
we,
you said
we,
you misspoke, right? You misspoke when you said important. This is how poor the team is right now. That Jaka actually is a viable option for us. That's
yeah, look,
that's how I would describe it. It's not that he's important to us. It's just that
Yeah.
you look at the rest
We
of the
don't have
team.
somebody
Like
else.
I don't see anybody right now who's ready to take that spot. Right?
It, yeah.
I,
It's
I
the
just
two positions. It's the so what I meant is the two midfield positions is gonna whoever plays against Wolves, that too, right? Whoever the manager chooses, the two midfielders are gonna. That's where we're gonna win and lose that game against
mm,
Wolves. And if it's
Yes.
just
Zaka,
mm,
it's gonna be a toss of a coin. You know,
Sorry,
just to
Lenny.
come in here, gents. Sunday would be the last game for African players. They leave
is it?
after Sunday.
They
Yeah,
Oh,
leave
okay.
they're
because
leaving Monday.
they leave Monday because they've got that 10-day quarantine period before they join up, and then I think it kicks off on the 9th of January.
Mm.
So they need to have that 10-day where they isolate and things like that. And
I
so I
saw
think,
I saw a report that Arsenal was asking if they would let Partey leave after the Wolves game.
yeah.
So I think they're
Okay.
trying to see if they can get that worked out as well. Um,
Yeah,
I
I'll
think I
follow.
mean that would be good or it's good or bad depending on how you look at it. Either it's good if we win both of these matches. If he stays and we lose, then it's not so good because who knows when he'll come back, right? We don't know
Yeah,
when he'll come back.
that's actually a fair point there.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Because if we win these two, then the city match won't mean it'll mean something, but it will be like you're going in with 2 wins at least for the since the holidays have begun, and that's what we want, right? That's another 6 points, right?
Mm.
Because those other teams below us have games in hand that potentially are points. So every win we get, the city match, are we expecting a win? I
Yeah.
think we're just rolling the dice there. We'd be lucky to keep it close right now the way we've been playing. But we get these 6 points here. I think that'll put a lot of pressure on those teams with games in hand. You know,
Mm.
we
Yeah.
have 38 points. 38 points. No
It's a
matter
lot.
how many games they have in hand, that's still a lot of points that they're going to have to make up. So,
Yeah.
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Lenny, you were saying, look, we've scored quite a few goals. It's what this 4 is 8, 13, 16 goals and 3 against for the December period.
Mm.
That's a lot of goals, eh? And yet we still need a striker, and that is the sad part of our season is that we're scoring the goals, but it's not just one person scoring goals. It's not just
Mm.
a Laka or Oba or Pepe or Martinelli's coming to the fore. I mean, in fact, Martinelli's got the exact same amount of goals like Oba now for the season,
Yeah.
only playing 3 or 2 more games. So is he the replacement short term, Martinelli?
Yes, definitely is. But if I look at the Norwich game now, and I'm looking as with the screen that you got up, what tends to frustrate me also with Arsenal matches when we start our matches, it's like we at snail pace. We're like
Mm.
we drag him. You get that, and I've made comments before. Are we waiting for our opposition to score first before we wake up? You know,
Yes.
we have that tendency to start off a game like that, and so the Norwich game, Martinelli, I
The
believe
Turkey
Arteta
game, you
will.
mean?
No, the Norwich versus the game on Sunday. I believe Arteta is going to push that we go hard that first half, and we go full steam first half, and then I think he'll pull off players again in the second
Yeah.
half. So yeah, I believe Martinelli is we can't go wrong there. Definitely can't go wrong.
All right, then the last part of the show. Yes, the time flies so quickly. Eh? The time flies. We need strikers, as you said, Warren, and these are the three guys, the prominent three guys standing out at this point. Um, it's not just a pity this guy's name is can't be seen. Is the I can't pronounce his name. Is this guy on the right? No, that's Kulusevski. He's also playing for Juventus. The guy on the purple. He's playing currently for Juventus, and he has 33 goals in one calendar year. He scored that on Sunday past, and he's level with Ronaldo that played for Juventus, also in the calendar year. So this guy can give you goals. Whether he's going to come, because he's denied to sign a new contract extension with Juventus. So, and he's coming in cheap, about between 20 and 30 more. And then, of course, your favorite, Warren, is Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Since 2021 season start, he scored 19 goals. He only had 3 games this season. Now, just to park it a bit there with Calvert-Lewin, do you think we want to buy a player that is injured and not sure when is he going to be fit to play?
Um, yeah. So I mean, I'm a fan of Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I like everything about him. I mean, he would cost a bit more though than the other two. But what I like about him is he's someone that is he's a professional. There's no issues. You never hear things or feel from this guy. Um, he's sort of coming into the stage of his career where he's getting to his best. He's a big guy. He's physical. He can be a number 9, so you can do what sort of Aubameyang and Lacazette can do: hold up the ball, but also turn around and finish the goal as well.
Yeah,
You can stand the ball up to him as well. He's got a good attitude. He's got premiership experience. That's massive.
yeah,
Premiership experience. And he's proven it in this league, the best and the biggest and the toughest league in the world. I mean, I would always, not always, but I would always trump it to the guy that's done it in the Premiership.
yeah,
And maybe the cherry on the top is that he's an Arsenal supporter. But listen to the stuff about the injuries and stuff like that. Well, I mean, that's just, so what? I mean, everyone gets injured. I mean,
Now
it
we've
just
done it
happens to
before
be injured now.
with
But we're not
Wenger.
gonna we're not gonna
We've
buy
worked.
him now. We're probably gonna buy him if we do buy him. It probably won't be in Jan. I don't think Everton would sell him now. It'll most likely be like in June, July. So come that time, you would be fit and available. But I'm just, yeah. I mean, for me, he would be a fantastic signing. I'm not saying he's the only one we should try our luck with. There are other guys like you've put up there, but he's someone. If you're looking at, he ticks all the boxes for us.
Yeah,
And you know what? Also, we just, can we just get someone that's just a professional that we're not going to have issues with? He's just someone that'll come in, hit the ground running, and you won't have any of this. Oh, he was late, and then he's doing the dance hip hop movie in the corner there, and you'll just get on with the job. You'll be
yeah.
and
It's
you'll
not as
be.
social.
And what we don't want is, and what I'm hating about this whole Aubameyang story is that we keep talking about the youngsters, but who's the youngsters going to look up to the whole time? With the
Yeah,
attitude, who are they looking? Who's the lead in this team? If they
yeah,
now at this stage looking up and I need to now look out for this is how it happens here at Arsenal. Who are they looking up to? Like I
yeah,
said, thankfully for him, he's stepping in and doing it. But so that is why I think Calvert Lewin brings. I don't know what these other guys, what their mannerisms are. Maybe they a bit too single-minded too. But I just think that it kind of ticks that box as well. He's someone that would bring those youngsters under his wing because he was a youngster not too long ago as well. So he
yeah,
knows what it's like. Um, and like I said, I'm always a bit iffy about these guys in these other leagues, and maybe I need to see them more. Maybe I need to see them in the Champions League a bit more to have a better judgment on them. But in the Premiership, it's a massive step
it's
up.
tough.
It's a
It's tough.
totally. That is why I would just give the favorite card to Calvert Lewin.
Yeah, Gary, your thoughts on these three guys? The guy on the right, Jonathan David. I haven't heard of him really. He's apparently very very high up on the ladder for Arsenal job. But nonetheless, your thoughts on those three guys, or any person that you think can come into to Arsenal?
Yeah, I mean, like right now we are at the point where we're looking at two, maybe even three strikers. So and you look at that list, and there might be two players on them that we could actually be viable options for us. I mean, for me, I haven't seen much on Jonathan David, but Dusan Vlahovic.
Vlahovic or something.
I mean, he looks really. He would definitely work. Similar, I think, similar, performances than Calvin Lewin. I guess right now with him being injured, I don't know. He's been out, and it's not even. And it's been consistent, right? This is the second year now that he's missed time for them. After they've had some good runs to start the season, and then eventually things wear down where he's been out. So what is that all about? And that's not something Arsenal can afford to do, is bring in a player that might not be healthy for them in the long term, because it's been
Yeah.
the second year for me, at least, that I remember that he's had to sit out for an injury for one reason or another. So that they need to bring somebody in. They can't go wrong with either one. They're gonna bring different things to them. Calvin Lewin definitely has the. We definitely know how he's going to play. He's played against us and shown us why he's worthy of being, a player that we want to look at. So yeah, I think that would be for me. We need one or two. I mean, this is where this past summer transfer window, I'm kind of a little, I get disappointed in it, because there were multiple players out there that we could have gone for, right? Edouard, Tony, um, and I think there's one other player
Martinez.
that we could have. No, Martinez. I think Martinez is at that level like a Dusan, right? Really expensive player, and he's got his mind made up where he wants to play. But we had a lot of younger strikers we could have brought in that would have, I think, been able to at least look at a Lacazette or a Aubameyang and maybe build on that.
Yeah.
I mean, those players they don't have players in front of them that have done it before. So they're trying to do it themselves in some degrees. But I would have liked to seen one of those two players probably even come to Arsenal last year. I think that deal with Nketiah, where he was supposed to go to Crystal Palace, and they didn't pick him up, and then I think it was Edouard that went to Crystal Palace, I believe.
Yeah.
Right. So I believe that should have been our player. That should have been our player, and they should have done whatever they could to sell Eddie to Crystal Palace if that's what they wanted, because I think that would have been a big improvement for us if we had that player sitting on our squad right now. And so I think we missed a little window there, especially getting the young players in. And now he would have had already 6 months, especially if things panned out the way they did now. Instead of like looking at an Nketiah, maybe you're bringing on an Edouard to play a little bit more, and I think we would be better suited. He'd be better suited for us right now.
He's a robust player, yes.
So I don't know the wind. So we missed out on some young strikers last summer, and now we have to go to some older, more expensive strikers. So that's going to be the problem. Can we afford to bring in that? Plus, we still need a CDM, right? We still need somebody to upgrade in the midfield, right?
Yeah,
Somebody for Xhaka or Partey, depending on where they decide to go. So I think that's going to be another concern for Arsenal when they go
again. This guy Arthur from Juventus, he fits. He ticked that box there. The guy on the left, he ticked that boxes there. I've seen him play. He's evil in that middle. He kicks off. He kills you. He goes in. He'll probably get more red cards than Xhaka, but he's a quality player type of thing. Lenny.
Yes, apologies, gentlemen. I've disappeared there for a while. Calvin Lewin.
Why did you pay him to say that?
I'll tell you. Okay, I've heard the part where Gary was talking about a younger striker type of thing, but with the youngsters that we have now, Calvin Lewin will inspire him. He will actually shape young guys up in front, and they can learn a lot from him. If you look at Abu, the way he plays, what do these youngsters take from him? Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Lacazette, on the other hand, he's that workhorse. He works, he fights, he's back and forth, he's here and there, he moves. But Calvin Lewin will teach these youngsters also that aerial battles within the box and things like that. So my money would always be on Calvin Lewin. And obviously he's English too. He's
And,
homegrown. Yeah.
and like Warren say, he's an Arsenal supporter.
He is.
Yeah.
He is. Yeah.
The other thing just to remember is just with the Ultrons, things are not always that straightforward. But I think we can, and this is where I want the club to improve. There's a lot of times where a player, right, is maybe, there's an opportunity that arises, and then we the club that responds the slowest. Now, with Everton, I think there's some issues with financial fair play. They overspent over the last couple of years. They're actually in a position now where they need to recoup some monies, and they're not really doing that well. They got issues with the manager. Calvin Lewin is getting to the part of his career now where he wants to, challenge Harry Kane for the England spot. He's gonna want to look for. So there's a little gap but that gap closes very quickly,
It
and
does.
we got to strike while the iron is hot. We got to. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah, the opportunity is like we got to be like, okay, start getting on the phone to everything like now, really, and say, listen, we're actually serious about this guy. We're gonna
Yeah.
come in for an offer, and you start getting the stuff done before someone else wakes up and realize, you know what, we can get this guy for half price here. Because so
Yeah.
many times we're the slowest club to react to those scenarios. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
It
yeah,
is.
uh, yeah. That's just a little thing I want the club just to be aware of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just,
All
just,
right,
just,
guys.
just a little, just Glenn, just to
Yeah, sure.
interrupt you again.
No problem.
I think we actually forgot we've got a little pro lagging around there. He's on training. He's with the team. Um,
Oh,
but
come on,
he's not
Jack.
getting. Say.
No, man. Why you want to bring Jack in, bro?
No, he's been doing well. He's been doing.
He's doing well.
Leonard. What time is it over there? What time is it? Is it nap
It's
time?
quarter
Is
past
it
10
sleepy
now.
time over there?
No, I've always
The
been a Jack fan.
emphasis, the emphasis, Lenny, is Jack doing well in training. That is where he's doing well. Now let him do well in training and let it stay in there, please.
No, you know what? His time has come and gone. He can influence players. That's about as much about as much as he should get involved in
Yeah,
any of the Arsenal playing.
Yeah.
We need somebody who's going to start. Really, he's not a starter, so it's not really an
Yeah.
option,
So
right?
you'll
yeah,
get paid. You'll get paid nothing because he's not going to play. Yeah. But nonetheless, guys, let's come to that point
man.
of what is your predictions. Let's start with Gary. What is your predictions for Sunday? If we're
I
still
guess
gonna
so.
play.
Just 2 to 3 is the minimum. So I'm just going to go with the minimum 3-0 win on the road, right? This is a road match, I believe, right? So
Yes, it's a road
yeah,
match.
so we need to continue this road performance that we had and get at least I expect at least a 3-goal lead. Let's just say that. We might give
Okay.
up a goal here and there, but I just feel like we'll be able to get a 3-goal lead here and like you said, rest some players.
Yeah. Lenny?
4-0.
She. You
Montanelli
very
2, Lacazette 1,
very
and
generous.
Smith Rowe. Mm.
Warren, you can't go less than 2 because you started it.
Um, yeah, I mean, I can. Yeah, to be honest, I can see a 3-0 here. I think once we get that first goal in that first half, I think we've shown. The good thing is in the last couple of games, West Ham especially, we were bang with purpose on the front foot, and I think we'll have too much on the flanks. for Norwich. I think we'll have too much for them. Once the first one goes in, 2 and 3 will come. So I'm gonna go. I'll go 3-0, 3-0 to the
Okay.
Gunners. Yeah.
All right. I will go 3-1. 3-1, because I'm sure everybody wants to score against Arsenal and they get it right at the stage. 3-1. So that is on record. And if Des was here, he would have enforced it. But yeah, guys, we came we came to
Glenn,
that point. Sorry.
Glenn, you've got Xhaka scoring an own goal again. Eh? That's why I say
We
3-1.
need to get back into clean sheets.
Yeah, but look,
We need
I
we
think
need clean sheets because think about it. The next two matches after that, we need to be near perfect, right? Just to keep them anywhere away from the goal. So we need to go into this match knowing that we haven't given up a goal and use that because we're going to need it in the next two matches.
Yeah.
that is what I say. We do need it, but it's football and it's Arsenal. Yeah, I mean, we all said on Tuesday against Leeds, or when against Leeds last week, we would have gone in 3-0, 4-0, and whatever. And there we gave a bloody penalty away. So yeah, it's Arsenal. You know what I mean? It's
Exactly.
yeah. Nonetheless, guys, we came to that point where we have to say goodbye. It is late, however. It is now, but just after 3 with Gary in New Jersey. So yeah, just for the last time, you want to say anything to the people? There's still 4 people watching. Anybody want to say anything? Your last words
So
and comments?
I guess Merry Christmas, Happy Christmas, Happy Holidays to everyone that's out there. Happy New Year if I don't hear from you until then. And come on, you Gunners, let's get this win. Yep.
Great stuff, Warren.
Yeah, just and thanks for having me on the show again. Always a pleasure meeting new Arsenal supporters. It's always an honor. Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy New Year, and let's get the turkey, the 3 points on Sunday, and that'll make us all feel better.
Bad, Gary. I just like I said, I want to say yes. It's been a pleasure working with being on the show with you, Warren, Leonard, and
Awesome.
Glenwood. We've done this before, but it's always a pleasure being on with you guys.
Yeah, no, fantastic, man.
I
Enjoy
hope
it.
it's not the last time, Gary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Leonard.
Yeah, blessed Christmas to everybody. And I hope you have a wonderful new year. It's good to see you guys again. And I wish you all the best, and let us continue to celebrate Arsenal. Victory is certain.
Yeah, there's the celebration. It's a celebration.
Oh, lovely,
Yeah.
lovely stuff, man.
Let's see that
Awesome.
again. Yeah, that's all the celebrations we had. Eh?
Patino.
Yeah, from my side, guys, once again, wishing you and your family a Merry Christmas, hip hip hooray, happy holidays, and of course, as you could see there, the Gonosaurus. Is he ever going to come back to the sidelines? I hope.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will. Yeah.
Yeah, seeing that we are open to everybody now, so I hope for him, for his sake, to come back and get that vibe again, and also all the things that he does on the sidelines. From me and my family, the Guna family, thank you, and again, yes, Philip. Philip is also saying his last. Have a Merry Christmas, and we'll be a Gunner in.
Philip.
Wow, that's just something great. Yes, after we win, you guys. Yeah, but welcome, Philip, to the Gunner family.
Awesome.
Yeah, guys, thanks
Fantastic,
again.
man.
And just like a friend of mine says, don't forget to be awesome.
Awesome.
All right.
Thanks a lot,
Cheers,
guys.
man.
Merry
Thanks,
Christmas,
Merry
everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Okay.